Hello, welcome back to Cracking the Cryptic, where today I want to solve the New York Times hard puzzle. Now, the reason I want to do this today is that I have a very good friend of mine who is a clever guy, and he's got interested in doing Sudoku. And I've been talking to him a bit about technique. And when I say clever guy, by the way, I mean a seriously bright guy. You know, he read maths at Cambridge, he went to the same college I did. He is, you know, very smart, very successful man, very, very numerate. And yet he struggles to finish this puzzle. And in particular, this puzzle today, I got a plaintive email saying, you know, he can do the New York Times easy and the medium level puzzles, but today's hard puzzle has just totally flummoxed him, and he has been trying to use the standard technique we recommend. So he's been going to 3x3 boxes like this one and labelling when a number can only appear in two positions, and he doesn't understand why that isn't enough to solve the puzzle. Now, I'm going to take a quick look at this now, and I suspect I know what the problem will be, and I suspect he'll kick himself, but also this is likely to be a very, very good lesson for those of you who get stumped by this puzzle to any degree. So without further ado, let's go for it. Now, the first thing that I'm staring at here is this 3 and this 4, and the impact they have on the central 3x3 box. You can see immediately we can do that, which is a good start. That allows us to pencil mark 4s into those two squares because of this 4 here, and pencil mark 3s into these two squares. It also allows us to know that we're looking for the numbers 2, 7 and 8 in these 3 squares here. So let's actually fully pencil mark this in just to hammer it home. 2, 7, 8 like that. You can see we have a 9 here and a 9 here. So there's a 9 in one of these two positions and a 9 here. So this square must be the 9. Oops, not an 8, a 9. That allows us to pencil mark 9s into those two positions, and pencil mark 1s, look, into these two positions. Okay, and now we're looking at placing, what are we looking for here? 5 and 6, I think, into these two squares. So let's put those in. You can see again we've got 5s in one of these two squares and a 5 here. So the 5s are going to be locked into one of those two positions in this 3x3 block, and we have a 5 here. So again, we're able to immediately resolve which order those two go in. That allows us to pencil mark 5s up here. This 3 is also nice with this 3. That allows us to pencil mark 3s into those two squares. And that, no, we can't put another pencil mark in at this point. But the interesting thing about this puzzle at this point is that there is a massive step you can go to in terms of solving this puzzle right now. And we could continue with the pencil marks, and the problem we're going to have with pencil marks is they are not going to crack this at this stage. You would be reduced in the end to highlighting lots and lots of different squares in order to make progress. And I think what my friend found was, if you look at this square, for example, this square is very restricted in an interesting way as well, because this square can only be, what, 1, 2, so it can't be 1, 2, 3, 4, it can be 5 or 6, it can't be 7, it can't be 8, and it can't be 9. So you can see this gives us a 5, 6 pair in column 8, and when you discover this you think, oh my goodness, I must be home and hosed. So I'm looking for 2, 4, 7 and 8 to complete the column. That gives us a 2, 8 pair there, 2, 4, 7 there, and a 7, 8 here. So even this lovely pair that you can discover relatively easily won't solve the puzzle for you. So what will solve the puzzle for you? Well, the trick, and it comes up over and over again in the New York Times, but it comes up in slightly different ways. So we've looked very recently at instances like this 5 and this 3 and the way they'd interact on this block. And you can see it's quite powerful. It's almost powerful enough because we can rule out the 5 and the 3 from these 3 squares, and combined with the 1, 2, 4 we already have, there are only 3 positions now for these 2 numbers. And with any more help from the column, we would be able to make progress from this. As it is, all we can do is pencil mark the 5s. So it's a variation on this we need to see. Now, I really encourage you to pause the video now, take a stare at it, and see if you can spot what the next step might be. It's very, I think it's very instructive to do so. It's just note, I can note obviously, and you'll be noting that this square here is, because we can pencil mark 7s into those 2 squares, this square here can only be a 2. That's not going to be enough to get you there. That means, in fact, this is an 8. And still, you might be thinking, well, yeah, you're saying it's not enough, but I bet you it is. It's not. Even if I continue with the solve here, this 2 here and this 2 here, I mean you can pencil mark 2s into those 2 squares, pencil mark 2s into these 2 squares. If you're very observant, you'll notice we have a 2, 4 in column 7 here and a 2, 4 in row 9. Look at the interaction they have on this box. We would be able to write in 2, 4 pair into those 2 positions. And again, you might think, done it. No, you haven't. That gives you a pencil mark 7s here, but you can see that it doesn't get you there. It makes no further progress. No, the trick to solving this puzzle, believe it or not, is to notice these 3 numbers. The 2, the 7 and the 8 in this top 3 by 3 block. And to consider, and this is the really clever thing. Now when you see this sort of arrangement, I think the natural way a Sudoku solver looks at this 2, 7 and 8 is they scan the column and they find a 3 and a 5, and they look, as we have done, on the impact of these numbers on this 3 by 3 block. Now what we have to do is to step back and consider the impact not on the block, but the impact of the 2, 7 and 8 on column 1. Because although we have no numbers in column 1, let's just think about how powerful this 2, 7, 8 is on column 1, because it's ruling out these 3 numbers from these 3 cells. Now we only have to combine that with this restriction here, where we're not having the number 2, 7 and 8 in this square because we know it's a 1, 9. And all of a sudden there's only 3 places left that the 2, 7 and 8 can go. And we combine that with the numbers we have. You can see the 8 here means this is a 2, 7. This is a 2, 7 or an 8. And this is a 2, 7 or an 8. But here we have a 2. And here we have pencil mark 7s. And there you go. That is the critical step to solving this puzzle, believe it or not. And I accept that for new solvers this sort of thing is anathema. It's very hard to see, but it is, again, I can't repeat this lesson enough, I don't think, because it is such a powerful technique to be able to notice these common instances, especially in the New York Times puzzle, of triples that have massive effects that you don't expect. And the lovely thing actually about the New York Times puzzle is that these triples often elude standard pencil mark notation. So even if you have very good technique, you might not see it. And let's just show you the effect of the 8 being here. I mean, it's profound. This 8 here now interacts over here to allow us to pencil mark 8s into those 2 squares. Now this can't be an 8. Look, we get to place an 8 in this square. And the moment we do that, we also get the 2. That resolves the 2, 4, and the whole puzzle collapses very quickly thereafter. So I'll leave that as an exercise for anyone interested. But I just wanted to share this with you. It's for my friend, really. As I say, he's a very bright guy, and he'll probably be better at me at Sudoku soon, but not yet. Thanks for watching. If you enjoy the content, please do subscribe. We appreciate it. Give us a thumbs up as well in the likes. I think the YouTube algorithm seems to take notice of that. And we'll be back soon with another edition of Cracking the Cryptic.